Hello, class, and welcome to the summer intersession for 2025. This is English 101 online, and I'm your instructor, Mr. Justin Mott. Given that this is a summer intersession course, it's going to move pretty quickly. We're taking what is normally a 16-week class, and we're smashing that into 6 weeks. So things move pretty quickly, and there's a decent amount of work to do, but it is a reasonable and doable amount of work. I try to set things up so that you feel that you're set up for success as long as you put in the work and pay attention to any feedback I give you. So you can and most likely will succeed in this course. But you just have to keep in mind that it is going to move a little bit faster. If you're used to a more 16-week format, obviously this is going to be more work more often, but for a shorter amount of time. So it's going to be a relatively busy 6 weeks, but definitely, like I said, doable. And I do everything I can to set you all up for success. One thing I want you to know about me as a professor is that my entire teaching philosophy centers on me being here for you all. That's why I do what I do. That's why I love what I do. The fact that I get to be here for my students and guide you all along your journey toward being better readers, writers, critical thinkers, and even to a certain extent people if you open your mind and your heart up that much. Um, if you look at the canvas for this course, which obviously that's where you found this video, so you know how to do that, you'll notice that there is a Start Here section for the course, and that is there obviously to get you started. It's this video is where you found that, or that's where you found this video, I should say, and also the syllabus with the schedule and the Canvas quick links and your check-in assignment. Check-in assignment is very important. It lets me know that you are in fact prepared to be part of the class this summer. Um, we don't have a physical location that we're meeting for our class sessions, so the only way for me to know that you're actually logged in and participating in the course is for you to complete this check-in assignment. So make sure you do that. It's due by midnight on or 11:59 p.m. on Wednesday. But that's my way of making sure that you're all available, and also if anybody's not planning on being part of the course, I can go ahead and drop you and add in any students who do want to be part of the course. So that's the purpose of that. And then after that, you'll notice that there are some helpful materials based in the reading that I'm asking you to do for this course, as well as the writing I'm asking you to do for this course. So there's a couple of modules that have some helpful materials that will help you be successful in those regards. And then below that, you'll see that I have all 6 weeks of the course ready to go, lined up. We can basically see exactly what's going to be expected of you. You won't be able to complete any of the assignments from week 2 and on. I have those scheduled to open up a couple days before the week starts, just so you can focus on the week that we're on, and then when you're finished with that, then you can start thinking about that next week. I don't want to open up the whole course because I want us to stay on a particular timeline that's going to be beneficial to you all. So all the due dates should be very clear. All of the expectations should be very clear. But if there's any point where anything isn't clear, please reach out to me and ask me. You can shoot me an email or a message through Canvas inbox, which will alert to my email. I also have a second line on my phone that I created just for you all to be able to reach me through text. You could obviously call technically, but I don't love talking on the phone. If we need to, that's something that we can do. But for the most part, I prefer just a quick text or even a longer text with whatever questions you might have, or if you want to ask if we could jump on to a phone call or a Zoom session or something along those lines. The phone number for that, and it will also be listed elsewhere on Canvas here, is area code 760-553-2502. So that is the number that you can use to text me if you have any questions that you're hoping that I can respond to relatively quickly. I will do my best to respond to those and emailed questions or Canvas inbox questions as soon as possible. And I will also do my best to give you feedback on the stuff that you turn in as soon as possible. I am a human. I have a wife and 4 kids, and other stuff going on besides my job as a professor, obviously, as we all do. But that doesn't mean that I won't try to get back to you or get you feedback as soon as I possibly can. But that's pretty much it. Certain things like for your papers. So let me just break down real quick how the course is going to look. You can see it if you look at Canvas, but let me just run it through for you real quick. You're basically going to be doing pretty much the same thing each week. There's a series of readings that I want you to do, and you are going to answer questions for those readings in a discussion board format. You'll be expected to not only provide your own answers to the questions and to come up with a question that you are interested in knowing the answer to. In other words, coming up with almost your own discussion question. But you are also required to respond to at least one other student's question, their question that they want to know. So the purpose for this is obviously so that you have an opportunity to reflect on the reading that you've done, answer some questions, and get to a point where you've properly examined this piece of reading. There'll be a metacognitive reading log, which you'll see the directions on how to do that there on Canvas. So between the metacognitive reading log and the discussion questions, you're going to get an opportunity to really dig into each one of these readings and hopefully get a lot out of them. If you take the metacognitive reading log seriously and the discussion questions seriously, I don't mean you can't have fun with them, but I'm saying if you actually put the effort into those things, I can guarantee that you'll get a decent amount out of the reading. And you'll also be training yourself how to be a better reader, which is obviously going to serve you well throughout the rest of college and probably for the rest of your life. So good stuff there. So each week you're going to have 3 readings that you'll be expected to do, and then you will have discussion board activities for each of those. And the directions on how to do that, again, are on Canvas. You can see my cat joining us here, one of my cats. By the way, I'm a cat person and a dog person, so I don't pick sides on that. But anyway, the other thing that you're going to be doing each week is working on a paper. So you'll notice in week 1, I introduce your first paper, which is an analysis, a rhetorical analysis. So you'll be working on your outline for week 1, and then you'll be working on your final draft after that, after I give you feedback on your outline. And that's going to be the pattern for all 6 weeks. So week 1, outline. Week 2, final draft. Week 3, outline. Week 4, final draft. Week 5, outline. Week 6, final draft for the 3 papers that you're expected to do for this class. And then there are some grammar units tossed in there as well. One of those that you'll be doing each week because we could use a little bit of instruction with regard to grammar and hopefully some understanding of why commas belong in certain places and don't belong in other places, or why subjects and verbs need to be in agreement with each other, stuff like that. A little bit of a refresher on the basic elements of a sentence. A lot of different things that we'll be doing in the grammar units for the course. So that's pretty much making up the entirety of your grade. There's a couple other small things. Obviously, the check-in assignment. There's also library competency tutorial and assessment that you'll be completing, and that's something that the college requires for you to graduate or transfer. completing the library competency tutorial and assessment. But that can all be done online. You don't have to go into the library to do that. And again, the instructions will be provided when that time comes. I believe you're doing that in week 5, if I remember correctly, off the top of my head. But yeah, so hopefully that all makes sense and you kind of have an idea of what to expect. Again, it's a decent amount of reading and a notable amount of writing each week. But it's only 6 weeks, and then you will have gained a lot, learned some new tools that can help you with your reading and your writing, and have a successful class this summer that turns into a successful foundation that's set so that you can do well again for the rest of college and probably for the rest of your life. So anyway, that's the course. This is me, and I look forward to working with you this summer. Again, please make sure that if you have any questions or if anything is unclear, feel free to reach out to me. That's part of what I'm here for. All right, I'll talk to y'all soon. Bye-bye.